Stop talking to us like we're children. Honestly, who do these governors think they are? You've got Gavin Newsom out on the left coast, California. He's out there telling his people who they can have over for dinner, who they can't have over, how many they can have. You got to eat outside. You got to be so many feet apart. You got to serve the meal this way. You got to cut the turkey this way. You've got other governors like in places like Wisconsin and Colorado and Oregon, basically saying you can't even have Thanksgiving. You got Dr. Fauci on with Jake the Tap Tapper on CNN, basically saying you need to do a virtual Christmas this year. This is just over the top, unbelievable authoritarianism. Now, some of them, I don't necessarily think, I know some of you aren't going to like what I'm about to say, I don't think that some of them necessarily see what they're doing as authoritarian. It is monkey see, monkey do. Oh, this governor just went on and did this because they're saving lives. And this governor went on to do this because they're saving lives. And there is a certain amount of pressure that they feel, number one, to keep up with the insanity that the other governors are caught up in. And then they get people chirping in their ear. There are advisors, there are pollsters, there are other members of their party telling them, you've got to do something, you've got to do something, you've got to look like you care, you've got to look like you've got this, and that you know what you're doing. And so what happens then is one stupid idea breeds 10 more stupid ideas. And then it gets perpetuated by each governor having to one-up the other governor. I live in a state where allegedly we have a red Republican governor. I'm sorry. No, I don't have COVID. I just have DeWine virus. Governor Mike DeWine, he comes out and that's just what he does in his press conferences. He whines at us, and Ohio enjoys 7,000 cases a day. This is just much, much too high. May I say something to that? Duh! May I also say, again, for the umpteenth time, I wish you would just listen. We are receiving and going to achieve herd immunity. This is how viruses work. They have to be able to do their thing. Slowing it down doesn't stop anything. And we aren't overwhelming hospitals. If your hospitals would report accurately, which is somebody goes in to have a tonsillectomy, somebody's going in because, well, maybe their blood pressure's been a little high, maybe they're there to have heart surgery, whatever. They're there for a plethora of reasons. But once they're there, they have to get swabbed. And if the swab reveals, aha, you are COVID positive, they get listed then as a COVID admission. You see how this works? We call it juking the stats. And Governor Mike DeWine in Ohio, he loves to juke the stats. What he doesn't like to do is report the stats accurately. He wants to talk about, we got 7,000 cases a day. We're also testing. And not just people showing up to be tested, but again, some of them are on jobs where it's required. My wife works in the healthcare industry. She gets tested on a weekly basis. More tests are going to reveal more people got it. But what he won't talk about, what the other governors won't talk about, what the Dr. Fauci's, who are there to be shills for pharmaceuticals and to sell their Mad Max vaccine, the only thing that they want to talk about is the rates are going up and the more people are getting it. What they will not tell you is that 99% of the people who get it now virtually have no symptoms. Those that do are usually over them literally within about 24 hours. The mortality rate is less than 2%. Less than 2%. But we're constantly, they are just fear mongering, and they are controlling. And now they're telling us how we're going to do Thanksgiving and how we're going to do Christmas. It's amazing. They robbed us of our Easter. Well, they didn't rob my church of Easter. We had Resurrection Sunday services. They robbed us of the 4th of July. Well, they didn't rob my church of the 4th of July. We had it. I wasn't really paying attention to, the fact that apparently there wasn't going to be the 4th of July this year in the United States. And about a week or so before the 4th, I went online to see in my area which community was going to have the best fireworks show and which one I was going to take my family to, only to find out nobody in my area was having fireworks. Then I found out there was only going to be one community-wide fireworks display in the entire state of Ohio. I'm like, what? Now, of course, the excuse we got was COVID. Oh, we got to keep people away. We're outside. Got to keep people away. And we don't want to catch the virus. That wasn't why they canceled the 4th of July. This was right about the time that Black Lives Matter and Antifa and the anarchists were really raging in the streets. They were toppling statues, burning flags, erasing our history, wanting to destroy museums, etc., etc., etc. And these gutless, spineless cowards in these states and communities were scared to death that if we did any type of public display of our love of country and patriotism, that these other lunatics would show up. So they were going to cancel the 4th of July. I found out about that, informed the board of my church, we're not canceling. We bought thousands of dollars worth of professional grade fireworks, and we did a fireworks display. We had people from our community come out. They were in our parking lot, on our property, on the property next door. They were lined up and down the road in the streets surrounding our church property. In fact, I had members of our local little town council ask me, are you going to do it again? We'll help you promote it next year. Oh, if I got ideas for next year. Now they're going to try to cancel Thanksgiving and cancel Christmas. Notice, though, most municipalities figured out how to let the kids go hawk for candy door to door and not infringe on Halloween. Oh, I'm sorry, you call it Halloween. The pagan holiday, that could stand. But we're not going to have a holiday where people get together to give thanks. Now, look, you've already bastardized and secularized it to the point where apparently we're supposed to be thankful to the Indians for saving us back in the day. I'm sorry, Native Americans. We don't even really reference the fact that it's supposed to be a time of thanksgiving to God. And in actuality, what we call Thanksgiving was actually a national proclamation of prayer. It began with George Washington, continued by John Adams. Thomas Jefferson put an end to it, didn't feel that the president had the right to, quote unquote, mandate prayer. They can mandate masks. They can mandate that we can't gather and worship. Well, that's if you're a little rogue governor, you mandate those kind of things. But we're not going to mandate praying. And that stood until Abraham Lincoln took office. And right after the Battle of Gettysburg, a little female newspaper magazine editor by the name of Sarah, barraging him with letter after letter after letter that America needs a national call back to God, he acquiesced. He proclaimed a national day of prayer, which also then became known as Thanksgiving. But they've taken that away. They're trying to take Christmas away. I am in a church where we will not shut down. By the way, don't tell anybody. We don't mask or social distance. I can't tell you how many parents have thanked me because we did a VBS and a fall festival, and we do events for kids every Wednesday night, have a full kids program on Wednesday nights. So many of these kids not even able to be in school right now. We have taken and decided to use our Wednesday night kids program, which is our Sunday school, but we do it on Wednesdays. We're teaching American history in our Sunday school. Real American history, patriotic American history, the unrevised American history, the faith of our founding fathers American history. Last night, the kids did, a Thanksgiving deal. It was Been looking at the pictures today. It was great. My wife is one of the teachers. She works with the preschoolers. Can't tell you how many parents have thanked me for giving their children their childhood back. We have a cottage school, a homeschool group that uses our facilities on Wednesday. I get the biggest kick when I leave to go to lunch and they're out on the playground laughing and running around, and the boys are playing, touch football, little 4th and 5th grade boys, and getting in their fights and their arguments. And we got high school kids in our church fellowship hall, having lunch and passing notes to each other, and Johnny likes Susie and Jenny likes Tommy, and I love it. I love it. The staff of that school, they're constantly thanking me that we're open and we're normal. So Governor Andy Cuomo of New York, who is never at a loss to being and I'm going to say this, and I know some of you as Christians, you're going to wince when I say this, Pastor Marty, sometimes you don't always talk pastoral. No, sometimes you have to follow the advice of the Apostle Paul, who said, I would rather speak 10 words that people understand than 10,000 words that when I'm done, you haven't got a clue what I meant. Andy Cuomo never ceases to amaze me or lose an opportunity to be a magnanimous prick. And he certainly was with the media yesterday.
What are you talking about? You're now going to override. We did it already. That's the law. An orange zone and a red zone. Follow the facts.
I'm still confused.
Well, then you're confused.
I'm confused, and
then I'll tell you what you mean.
Parents are still confused as well. The schools.
No, they're not confused.
Tomorrow.
You're confused.
No, I think
but
parents
read the law.
Very confused as well.
Read the law, and you won't be confused.
But Governor, following Jimmy's question, are the schools going to be open tomorrow?
The schools are open by state law.
Will they be open tomorrow? That's the question. I think Jimmy's correct in asking that question. I don't think it's obnoxious at all.
Well, I don't really care what you think.
Where is the hue and cry? The hue and cry from CNN, little Brian Stelter, Humpty Dumpty, and Jake Tapper, and Don Lemonhead, and the rest of that ilk over there, and PMSNBC. Where is the hue and cry? Where's Jim Acosta? Why, Andrew Cuomo is not giving members of the media the proper reverence that they deserve. Why, these people defecate marble. When they speak, it is nuggets direct from heaven. How dare they be questioned? How dare they be mocked? How dare they be disrespected and talked to rudely the way Donald Trump blows off the media? Can you imagine if Donald Trump had talked to the press that way? But here's Cuomo, sitting there like the mafia boss that he thinks that he is, and basically, I don't care what you think. I don't care. I mean, how this guy got to be governor, other than the fact the legacy of his dad. And New York got stuck with his dad because his dad was a minor league baseball player and basically wasn't any good at it, and just decided one day, well, let's see, I either try to make this baseball thing happen or I can go into politics. And he opted to go into politics. Oh, why couldn't he have caught a fly ball? And then New York got cursed with the Cuomo clandestine family dynasty. The mafia family. New York is ours. Andrew Cuomo ran his dad Mario's campaign to be mayor of New York when he was running against Ed Koch in the 1970s. And it was Andrew Cuomo who came up with the real catchy campaign slogan, vote for Cuomo, not the homo. Now, this is a guy that, under the cover of night signs into law to thunderous applause from the left loons of his party that in New York it is now legal to commit abortion right up and even during birth. Nice. What a legacy. You're such a good Catholic there, Andy. Good job. And of course, you don't get called out by your priest or your archbishop. The whole thing is just, I'm sorry, the fraud and the theological dishonesty of Roman Catholicism. Some of my Catholic viewers, listen, breathe. I love you, care about you, want you to come to real faith in Christ. I'm not mocking you, but the religious system that you are a part of in Catholicism, with everything from its covering up of raping priests to its just rampant, awful, horrible, false doctrine, to a pope that's out there for every type of socialist, social justice, Marxism that he can throw his support behind. When you have an outright communist running for Congress or for the Senate in Georgia, and that Reverend Raphael Warnken, or however it is that you pronounce his name, who claims to be a Baptist, yet says he's got a pope now because this pope is all about social justice, socialism. And there sits Cuomo. Now, the question was over, trying to figure out would the New York City schools be open or closed. And as Cuomo was saying, they're open, while he was having the press conference, de Blasio closed them because they got to 3. If they have 3% saturation among the student body, we're going to close. That's our rule. That's our standard. That's not even the national standard. So much for Cuomo coming out and constantly lecturing us. You got to follow the science. We're going to do what the scientists tell us. The scientists are virtually all agreed. Schools absolutely do not need to be closed during this pandemic. These scientists know that. The only reason the left really wants, I couldn't for the life of me, for the longest time, figure out why the left was so hell-bent on closing schools. After all, the schools have become their greatest incubation ground to warping and distorting and stealing the hearts and minds of children. How could they want them to be home this long? At first I kind of thought, well, maybe this is just about, hey, we'll just dumb them really down, because after all, dumb people are easier to control than smart people. I think there's a level of truth to that. And then, like an epiphany, it hit me. They want to kill the current school system completely, the whole structure, so that the leftists can recreate school under all types of arbitrary type of mandates and lining these kids up, and the masks and the taking the temperature, that's just a test run. You will comply. And I've told you for years that public schools are not schools, they are indoctrination centers. And that is exactly what we see unfolding, and that is exactly what they're trying to do right now. They want to kill the educational system on purpose. So this reporter's arguing with the governor about will you be open, won't you be open, and the governor just goes full-blown libtard, rude, crass, arrogant, better than you. But this is the party that's going to bring us all together. Because bad Trump man, bad orange man, he got to go. By the way, let me just say it, he not going anywhere. Oh, you may be successful in stealing this election, but he not going anywhere. If you think he's just going to go to Mar-a-Lago and play golf, and by the way, the support for this president is not going away either. Just thought I'd pass that on. But these little rogue governors running around like they're little dictators, little emperors, they're accountable and answerable to no one. It is time to push back. Right now, our governor, we're under a curfew at 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Be home. Most nights I usually am. Now I'm looking for things to be out and doing. See, there's something natural within us. It's that American independent spirit, but it is also the nature of man. There's a reason that 15-year-old boys start rebelling against their mother and their father. They don't want to be told what to do. And a wise parent learns how to pick and choose the battles. And how can I guide my child during this time of they're forming their own opinions, they're forming their own likes and dislikes, they're soon going to be adults. I can't just make them do what I say. because then they really will rebel. Which, by the way, hey, government, look how this, you will wear that mask, you will do this, you will line up, you will. Hey, how about you just treat me like an adult rather than a child? Talk to me. Tell me that this is what this virus is, and this is what you believe it does, and this is why it would be beneficial for you to wear a mask, but you're an adult. You make that decision. And again, it's simple logic. For all the people that are wearing masks, and you look at us and you freak out with those of us who don't wear masks, if you're wearing your mask and you really believe it works, it doesn't matter if I wear one or not, then does it? So all of these mandates, and it's not bad enough that they hit us with these mandates, but these lectures and this talking down to us where Governor DeWine here, Ohio, you're just not doing the job right. In fact, he tweeted out now that we not only have this curfew, but if you got a college-age student and you're coming home for the holidays, well, I understand now you're raising your risk level in your home. So you better practice good hygiene, social distance. Now, I'm going to hug my kid when he walks through the door. And wear masks. If you think I am going to wear a mask in my own house, I'm going to tell you exactly where you can go, Mr. Governor. It is time for we the people to remember how we got to be we the people. We rebelled against a crown. We rebelled against mandates. It's time to fire up that American spirit again. Your governor enacts a curfew. Your governor tells you that your business can't be open. Open anyway. It is time to push back. Hey, that's it for this pontification and rant for the day. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell and click the word all to get notification of my next rant.